Okay, right. So let's see what is variation. Wait, 我戴个眼镜 allows me to wear my spec. Okay, so variation is the difference in characteristics among the individuals of the same species. Okay, 就是说 in some sense, we are talking about the difference, okay, between each body, or we can say each individual, or each body. Normally we will call each body within, when we say they are from the same species. Okay, like they are included in genetics. Okay, morphology. So now, what's morphology? Okay, so morphology is actually we call how to say， 它叫形态学，是比较形态学，形态学我们叫 OK， how to say， we are talking about the what you call the the form, the shape, okay, the form and shape of the of the what you call that of the organism. Okay, so in Chinese, we call 形态学. Okay, physiology. Okay, so this is the, we're talking about the no, 就是因为太了。Study of shape, form, I think, and also yeah, the structure as well. Okay, so next is physiology. Okay, so physiology is study on the what you call, we sometimes we call the science, we call this as a science of life, or we can say it's a study on the functions or some mechanism in the living system. Okay, so it's, we are talking about the study on what you call that the function and mechanism of living system. Okay, we're talking about this one for this, and then anatomy. Okay, biochemistry and intelligence. Okay, so like just now, we are talking about the what you call that. Anatomy is we call the internal structure. Okay, the study that involves the internal structure. Okay, the internal structure of the living thing. Okay, this one is outside. This one is inside. Okay, so it's about the internal structure. Okay, so all this. So this difference in the characteristic is due to, this is due to what? Due to genetic factor or environmental factor or interaction of both. So the difference is caused by the genetic factor, environmental factor, or both. Okay, so should I ask you to drop down? No, I think we just straight away go. So the variation in the population is important. Why? Because let's see the importance of that. First one, it will enable the individual to distinguish from other individual of the same species. The first one, we can distinguish between each other, like the, how to say, the physical appearance. Okay, between maybe Yuanren and Jinjie is different, so that's why we can distinguish between them. and it can increase the adaptation ability, okay, to survive in environment. So it increases the ability of a species to adapt themselves to survive in a changing environment, and it will able to exploit, okay, for species that show variation, it can exploit the resources in the new habitat, and is a factor that lead to evolution and the formations of new species. All right. So up till here, any questions? No, huh? All right. So let's continue. So we have two types of variation, which is a continuous variation, and this we have two of them. So continuous variation and discontinuous variation. So this is the what you call. These are the what you call that the difference between both of them. So what is continuous variation? We are talking about the trait of a characteristic shows a gradual change from one extreme to another. So it means that it shows a trait that show gradual change from one extreme to another. Like something that you can calculate or you can measure, like the height, mass, okay, weight, and also let's say your dry mass for plant, all this. So this is the for continuous variation. As for the discontinuous variation, okay, it's a characteristic that have clear-cut and distinct differences. So it's a trait with clear-cut and distinct difference. For example, the skin is fair, skin is dark. Okay, so this is come with two extreme. Okay, this is called a distinct difference. And normally we are talking about able to it has this trait or don't have this trait, like your what you call your ear loop, like the loop of your hair. Okay, all this type of characteristic are those with yes or no. Then we call it as a discontinuous variation. So for continuous variation, because it's a measurement, so it has a intermediate phenotypes. Okay, like tall, very tall, short, very short, and in the middle, not tall so tall and not so short. All this. As for the discontinuous variation, because it's only about yes or no, so they doesn't have intermediate phenotypes. Okay, so for the types of inheritance, it is a quantitative inheritance. Okay, quantitative, which can measure. Okay, we can measure with a scale. While for this discontinuous is a qualitative inheritance, which determine whether a characteristic is present or not. Okay, like I say, the skin is fair or dark. This is the, I mean, it's a inheritance that comes with only choices, 2 or 3 choices like that. Now, for continuous variation, it can be caused by genetic factor or environmental factor, but for this continuous variation only involves due to genetic factor. So it involves, okay, for the numbers of genetic involves, okay, this what you call continuous variation is controlled by several genes, or we sometimes call polygene, and this one is controlled by a single allele with 2 or more, a single gene with 2 or more alleles. Okay, for the inheritance of characteristic, okay, this continuous variation, the trait is not necessary to be inherited to offspring and is affected by environmental factor. Means that it's not necessarily inherited. It can be affected, but it can be due to the environmental factor. This continuous trait is a different. It can be inherited, okay, without affected by the, okay. without affected by the environmental factor. Now, for example, for the what you call continuous variable, we have a human height, body weight, skin color, intelligence, leaf size, and fruit size. While for the discontinuous variable, they have a ABO blood groups, the blood groups rhesus factor, fingerprint pattern, okay, hair pattern, ability to roll your tongue, your ear root shape, examples of garden pea characteristic, and the graph. Okay, normally the shape of graph for the what you call for the continuous variable will be bell-shaped normal distribution curve, something like this. While for the what you call for the discontinuous variable is a discrete distribution of bar chart. All right, so up to here. Any questions? No? All right, so if no, so I have a, wait, I think I have a question for you guys. Wait, I think I haven't finished. Sorry. I think we should continue. All right. For the factors of variation, okay, just like we said, there are two types of them: genetic factor and environmental factor. For example, for genetic factor, we have crossing over, independent assortment of chromosome, random fertilizations, mutation. While for environmental factor, this is due to light intensity, the soil fertility, water or soil pH, temperature, the nutrient contains, and also the physical activities of the plant. Now, so the genetic factors that will normally affect the continuous and both continuous and discontinuous variable. So this is why, because first, it gives a distinct effect on discontinuous variation, but the effect on the continuous variation may be not obvious. Why? This is due to the continuous variation involves several genes and have a minimum effect to the relevant phenotype. So it means that because there are several genetic involved in this variation, so that's why it will have the minimum effect on that particular phenotype. And also, however, for discontinuous variable, it normally only involves one gene. So the effect of only one gene, okay, will straight away obvious compared to many genes will affect together. So the effect of the genetic factor is obvious in gene expression into the relevant phenotype. Okay, so now let's see the factors, the genetic factors. We have genetic factors. We need to go through every of them. So the first one for genetic factor crossing over. So this crossing over occurs at prophase 1 in meiosis, where the two non-sister chromatic homologous chromosomes will cross at chiasma and carry out genetic exchange. And some of the segment of DNA on the chromatin will exchange places and recombination of genes is taken place. So they will like this is the place where they're doing crossing over. So we will say they will switch over among them. So when during the anaphase, the chromatic was separated during the anaphase 2, and there will be a new combination of gene produced. And the fusion of gamete during the fertilizations will produce a zygote with various genetic combination. Why? Because it will accept the genetic information from both male and female parent. So this is why. So single one of them, they due to this crossing over, they already change. They already mix the what you call the genetic content different. So that's why when they are getting from both male and female parent, so of course the difference will become bigger. Now, second, the independent assortment of chromosome. So during the metaphase 1, okay, of meiosis, the homologous pair of chromosomes will arrange themselves randomly at the metaphase plate. Okay, so during the metaphase 1, so homologous pair of chromosomes arrange themselves randomly at the metaphase plate. So each pair of homologous chromosomes will arrange independently from other pairs of homologous chromosome, and that's why the gamete with various genetic combination will be produced. So, like for example, so in a diploid cell, which consists of two pair of homologous chromosome, there will be two possibility in this independent assortment in meiosis without crossing over. Means that you see like this, they might change like this, they might do like this. So you will get a combination 1 and combination 2. Or you can say they are like this. Means that the balik one dark, one fair, like this. So they will come up with another combination 3 and 4 in the after the meiosis. Okay. So this is how the what you call just now the we call this independent assortment of chromosome looks like. Okay, next, we are talking about the random fertilizations. So, for random fertilizations, okay, the male and female gamete with various combination of genetic due to crossing over and independent assortment of chromosome fertilized to form a zygote, because they will form together with due to crossing over and this factor, they will fertilize together and form a new zygote. So that's why there will be an infinite variation of offspring is produced. Okay, because different. I mean, these due to these two, 1 and 2 factor, this one factor 1 and factor 2, when they comes out with different types of, I mean, different what you call gamete, then when they mix together, so it will create a special zygote. Okay, I mean not special zygote, but it's special in terms of the genetic content. Now, next, mutation. So, mutation is a sudden change in sequence of DNA nucleotide in a gene. In gene, structure of chromosome or numbers of chromosomes. So, it means that it's a sudden change, and this change normally lead to bad things. Okay, the genetic that involved may change to may change to dominant or recessive, and the genetic content in an organism will change due to this, and this will contribute to variation of population and might form a new species. Like for example, white tiger. Okay, white tiger is very rare because of it's actually due to a mutation. So that's why the white tiger is very rare. Okay, so up to here, any questions? No? All right, so let's continue. The phenotype and variation that caused by the environmental factor normally, okay, this benefit which is caused by environmental factor, it cannot be inherited to offspring. That's why it cannot inherited. So for example, for environmental factor, we have a color of skin and fur in Siamese fish, Siamese cats, pui. So the enzyme that's sensitive to temperature is produced by a gene, gives a dark coloration. Okay, gives a dark coloration. Okay, to skin and fur. The enzyme is only active at the parts of cats with low temperature. For example, tail, feet, ears, and snout by producing a melanin pigment. Means that, okay, this how to say, means that for the Siamese cat in a different environment, okay, different environment in terms of temperature, it will produce a different how to say, fur pattern, fur color pattern. Why? Because the fur color, the skin color and fur color is due to the dark color, due to the dark pigment. Okay, we'll call the melanin pigment. So that's why, the color normally change on the, it become darker at tail, feet, ears, and snout. Snout are the what you call the area around their nose. Okay. Now the sex determination in turtle and crocodile is determined by incubation temperature. If the turtle eggs are incubated at temperature lower than 28, so all the hatched turtles are male. So when it's less than lower than 28, so all hatched turtles are male. When it's above 31, all hatched turtles are female. Now, at the temperature between 21 to 31 degrees, so it can be male and female hatched. Okay. And also, the formation of queen bees and worker bees are determined by the types of duration. Okay. Now, for the interaction between the genetic factors and also the environmental factors also will affect the phenotype of an organism. And then it affects the phenotype of the, what the hell? Okay, it will actually first affect the phenotype of the organism, and then further affect again what he's trying to say here. Okay, for example, the human height and body shape. And the individual has many dominant allele for the height characteristic, will be tall and muscular if he provided with a sufficient nutrient and appropriate physical activities. Okay, so it means that when he has many dominant allele for height characteristic, he will be tall and muscular if he is provided with enough nutrient. Now, if with sufficient nutrient and appropriate physical activity, if the individual does not have sufficient nutrient and do not carry out any physical activity, the height and body shape are not as tall and muscular as the previous one. So means that this what you call muscular and tall somehow is called more correlated to the what you call to the environmental factor. It means that if you do not have, you didn't consume enough nutrient, so it will affect your height as well. Okay, while the plant will grow tall and plant will grow tall and healthy if light intensity, soil fertilizations, and pH are optimum, with a condition that the plant has the relevant genotype. Means that as long as the plant is coming from a very good quality male and female parent, so it should be able to grow in tall and healthy as long as your light intensity, soil fertility, and also the pH are optimum. So if the environmental factors are deficient, so the plant will not grow taller and healthy, although the plant has a dominant genotype. So it means that this is not only depends on the genetic itself. Somehow, some of the what you call, for those continuous variable as variation, especially, they are actually also depends on the environmental factor like the nutrients. Okay, the what you call the water, I mean the water rising, something like that. So any questions? No? Okay, if no, try to do these questions. 试看家做12.1. Alright, please do this. Then please let me know. Okay, one done. Okay, another done. Okay, you're done. Others are done. Let me know. Okay, so I guess all of you done. So let's discuss. All right, so how can the excuse me. So okay, so how can the what you call the variation increase the survivor species? So an organism in a population that has a variation possesses a characteristic which is adaptable to the environment compared to other organisms within the same population which do not have the variation. Okay, so this is the what you call this is the answer. Now determine the following variation for intelligence, which is continuous. Okay, for intelligence is continuous. For the okay, I think I will straight away copy this faster. So this is continuous. This is discontinuous. This is discontinuous. So I think this one is discontinuous. This one is discontinuous. Okay, so all these are discon. Okay, so this is the answer. All right. Now state the two causes of what you call variation, which is two causes. The factor there are only two factors: genetic and environmental factor. So variation occur because of sexual reproduction. So explain this above statement. So now, because the sexual reproduction, there is a fertilization, there is a, I mean, it involves the meiosis. Okay, so, and also the, what you call, the fertilizations between both male and female gamete. So that's why the cross-linking during the meiosis, okay, the cross-linking occur, and also the fertilizations between these male and female gamete will occur randomly, and this will cause a variation, and all this will cause a variation in the offspring produced. So let us see your answer, the answer of your textbook. So the sexual reproduction involves the fertilizations between the male and female gamete. So during the formations of gamete, cross-linking will occur between the homologous chromosomes, and the fertilizations between two types of gametes will occur randomly, which causes the variation in the offspring produced. Okay. So these are the answers. So any questions or any different answer that you want to discuss here? Oh, sorry. No? Okay, wait. So, okay. No, good. So if that's the case, so let's continue with 12.2. Okay, 12.2, where we're gonna talk about the what you call the variations in human. Okay, so first we talk about the relation of types of variation with human inheritance. Okay, so for example, continuous variation. Okay, continuous variation. Okay, for continuous variation, as we just say, okay, it only affected by the genetic factor. An environmental factor does not affect this inheritance. Okay, so it can be determined by inheritance cross diagram, or it can be determined by inheritance the cross diagram or family pedigree. Okay, the one that we have done during last topic. Okay, chapter 11. While for discontinuous variation, like we say, it has determined by both genetic factor. Okay, and at first it was determined by genetic factor. For example, maybe the baby born now, it has a very fair skin, for example. Okay, fair skin. Then after that, it can be determined by the environmental factor during the growth of human. For example, the genetic factor determine the human height before and after the birth. However, the environmental factor like nutrients and physical activity will determine the human height during the human growth. However, the height achieved unable to be the height achieved unable to be genetic inherited to their offspring. So means that your height, okay, somehow is not really determined by your genetic. Okay, so this is a mistake that that always brings out by most of the people. Okay, so up to you here. Any questions? Okay, so let's continue. So the experiment to study the continuous variation in human. So the problem statement: how the height of all pupils in Form 5 vary. So the hypothesis: the height of all pupils in Form 5 shows no distinct difference in characteristic and gradually differ with intermediate traits. Means that there's a changing level by level, something like that. So the manipulated variable will be the pupils with same age. The responding variable will be the height of the pupil. Constant variable will be the age and gender. So the material involved will be paper. Parameters will be your height measuring tools and pen. So let's see. The height of each pupil is measured by using the height measuring tool. And then we record the height measurement and categorize them according to the range of height. Like this, range of height. Then at least 30 pupils are involved. Okay, this is to create enough sample size. And then a graph in the form of histogram of number of pupils against the range of height will be plotted. The curve will be drawn by connecting the midpoint of each bar. Then we set the mode, mean, and median. So this is the this is the result. So let's see here. So the mode of the range of height is this one. For form 5, blah blah blah. The height range is this one. So no need. So state the mean. Okay, mean and median no need. Okay, so the curve drawn is normal distribution. So when normal distribution, then we say is a continuous variation and with intermediate traits. Okay. So your hypothesis is accepted. The height of the blah 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 blah. So no need. This one is very easy. And then this one is I think it's about the what you call the presence of your dimple and also raw tongue. So same way to do it. So you'll find out that there's only yes or no. So from here, you can see that the characteristics, the graph, the bar chart show your variation distribute discretely. When the variation distribute discretely, so means that it's a discontinuous variation. And this shows two distinct traits, no intermediate traits, okay, no in the middle. So we can say it's normally controlled by a single gene. Okay, now next we are talking about the sensitivity of your tongue towards the PTC solution. All right, what is this PTC solution? This PTC solution is actually okay. I think I think I forget the taste. I think it's bitterness. If I'm not mistaken, it's talking about bitterness. Okay, when you test this PTC, you should experience bitterness. Okay, so the manipulated variable with pupils with same age, normally same class, we do it on the same class. And then the responding variable will be the sensitivity level of tongue towards the PTC. The constant variable will be the age. Now, the materials involved is paper stripes, okay, the PTC solution with different concentration, drinking waters, and also the paper cup. And then we have an apparatus of pen. So what we do is, the PTC solution with different concentration will be put in the paper cup label P1 until P5. P1 has the lowest concentration, P5 has the highest concentration. Okay. So how many paper cup depends how many level of concentration that you want to set. Okay, either 1 to 6, you can set accordingly. So each student takes the PTC cup P1 solution with a paper stripe, and then after taste, we throw the paper stripe into the trash. So we record the level of sensitivity to the bitter taste. Yeah, correct. So it's a bitterness of the PTC solution on the table. Then you need to drink a little drinking water. Okay, this is important. Why you need to drink a little drinking water? You need to wash out the leftover PTC solution in your mouth so that you can give a proper or much more accurate answer when you taste for the next paper cup. Okay, so the bar chart showing the blah 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 like this. So it's okay. We just show like this. So you see able or not able. So with this, you can see that it shows a discrete distribution. So it's a discontinuous variation. So it's controlled by one single gene. Okay, quite easy. So this is how it looks. This is how the what you call your genetic variation for what you call for continuous and discontinuous. So any questions? No? Okay, if no, so please do 12.2. Okay, try to do 12.2. Okay, I'm trying to finish this chapter 12 if possible within this class. Okay, because I think we should be able to finish it. Okay, it shouldn't be a big issue because we should be able to finish this. So try to do this. Okay, one done. Good, Jinjie done. Okay, one done. Okay. Xin ý Jason 做了吗？哎，Jason 好了吗？Okay, good. So let's continue with the discussion. Excuse me. So, what is the meaning of inheritance? So, inheritance normally we call is a transfer of a characteristic from the parent, okay, from the parent to the next generation, or sometimes we call the next generation as the progeny, or we can say from one to the next generation. Okay, so it's a transfer of characteristic from parent to progeny. Wait, I think I shouldn't do this. Wait, So it's a transfer of characteristic from parent to progeny or from one generation to another. So what's characteristic? We normally say it's a physical trait. No, cannot use trait. Remember, don't use trait because trait is considered as another meaning in biology. So normally we will call features. Okay, and physical features. Okay, which can be inherited or not inherited. OK，它可以 OK，所、就是说 characteristic 就是一个特征，就是你的一个我们讲叫做表面特征，它可以是我们讲叫做因为它有讲过，它有些是从environmental factor 的嘛，所以它不一定是遗传性的，它可以是非遗传性的，就后天的。OK。Now, the two examples of inherited characteristic in humans, okay, like the ability to roll your tongue, the hair look, eyes color, presence of dimple, okay, and so on. So, now give two examples of traits for eye color. We have a brown color, blue color, and black iris, or sometimes we get black iris. Okay, normally it's this three. Okay, those red color, pink color, or yellow color, this is only normally just occur in what you call only occur in an anime. Real life, I don't think so. So far, if you have found one, let me know. Okay, now, so let's continue with mutation. So what's mutation? Mutation is actually a process of the what you call of the changing of genetic. Okay, then it's called a mutation. Okay, it's a change in your genetic, change of genetic or DNA. Okay, so it's called mutation. The process is mutation. The things or the factors that cause mutation is called mutagens, while the people who undergo mutation process is called mutant. Okay, like X-Men. No. This is just a what you call it? Just not really an example, but something similar. So let's see. For mutagen, first we start with mutagen. It's a substance or agent that causes the mutation. So it increases the rate of mutation in the cell or organism. And the agents that cause mutation, we have a physical agents, chemical agents, and biological agents. Okay, there are three types of them. While for mutation, okay, like the chemical agents, like the what you call the chemical substances. Okay, there are so many of them. So all this. While for mutation is a sudden change in the sequence of DNA nucleotide in the gene, in the structure of or the structure of chromosome, or even the numbers of chromosome. So it's a natural process that occurs spontaneously, okay, randomly, and in a low rate. At a low rate means that not everybody can experience mutation of the genetic. Okay, so for mutant is or we call the mutated gene, or is a mutated gene or organism. For example, sickle cell anemia and albinism. Okay, so what is sickle cell anemia? Means that your what you call your hemoglobin, your red blood cell become a sickle cell shape. Sickle cell shape means that the hemoglobin becomes something like this. It becomes like the shape like this normally. Okay, this will cause the effectiveness of hemoglobin become low. So it will lead to the what you call chronic, like for example, chronic respiratory diseases. While albinism is due to the lack of black pigment. If I'm not mistaken, it's black pigment. I forget which pigment already. Okay, I think it's due to the what you call yeah, melanin. Yes, correct. So it's this is due to the what you call the lack of black pigment, or we call the melanin. Okay, like who is that? Like the Michael Jackson, something like that. Okay, so sometimes it will affect your eyes color as well. Your eyes color might change a little bit more yellowish. Okay, so let's see the mutation. For the physical agent, we have radioactive rays, like for example your UV ray, X-ray, gamma ray, and cosmic radiation. Now for the chemical agent, normally it's due to heavy metal, some formic acid, benzopyrene, okay, crochisine, tar, which is in the cigarette smoke, and also some preservative substances like benzoate and butylate, and also some pesticide. Pesticide also the one of the mutagen. And as for the biological agent, normally it's due to the viruses or bacteria. Okay, so up to here, any questions before we move to the next? Okay, good. So let's continue. So there are two types of mutation involved. Okay, we have two types of mutation, which is genetic mutation and chromosomal mutation. So let us do the comparison. In terms of the description, it involves the sequence change of nitrogenous base in the gene, okay, affect the sequence of amino acid. And also the protein produced does not function well or not even function. While for chromosomal mutation, okay, this is involved the change of chromosomal structure or numbers of chromosome, normally involves several genes and cause the defect to, okay, organism. For the example, we have for gene mutation, we have albinism, sickle cell anemia, thalassemia, polydactylism, hemophilia, and color blindness. While for the what you call chromosomal mutation, okay. Oh yeah, I forget to tell you what is thalassemia. For thalassemia, okay, is in Chinese we call it 地中海贫血症, okay, or in terms of description, English, okay, thalassemia is actually a disease by your blood, okay, where your, how to say, your blood doesn't have enough hemoglobin. Okay, means that the blood doesn't have enough hemoglobin. Okay, unlike sickle cell anemia is your hemoglobin turned into the different shape, which is not effective. But thalassemia is your body doesn't generate enough hemoglobin. Okay. And then for the polydactylism, polydactylism is actually where, how to say, I don't know, extra finger on your hand. Like sometimes the common condition is we have 5 finger, but maybe you have 6 finger. Then this one is polydactylism. Okay. Then hemophilia. Hemophilia is actually a condition where the blood will, how to say, the blood will clot easily. So normally those with hemophilia, which is normally on male, okay, normally it's male, okay, they have the blood can clot easily. That's why your blood become thicker and thicker. This will cause a blockage of clot in your what you call bloodstream. Okay, well, for this one chromosomal mutation, this is due to the change of the chromosomal structure, or we call the Cri-du-Chat syndrome. Okay, Cri-du-Chat syndrome. Cri-du-Chat syndrome is what you call, is how to say, I don't know how to tell you guys, but it's okay. It normally for those killer which has this kind of what you call Cri-du-Chat syndrome, right? Normally it will have what you call, he will have several how to say, it will have several syndrome. Like for example, the jaw is very small, the head is very small, and then they are normally have mental retardation. Okay, and also the eye has some problem, the slanting eye. Okay, something like that. Okay, normally it's due to the what you call, due to the what you call that. I think I forget the set. I think it's 5. Okay, it's due to the set 5, chromosome 5. Okay, there's a missing of one piece of chromosome 5, which will cause to this Cri-du-Chat syndrome. Okay, and normally this is due to the change of chromosome number, like for example Down syndrome, Turner syndrome, Klinefelter syndrome, and Jacob syndrome. I think we will mention later. Is it? Oh no, he didn't mention it. I thought we should mention. Oh, he didn't mention very detailed. Okay, so now let's see the types of the what you call gene mutation and chromosomal mutation. Okay, we have a what you call we have a substitution. We have base substitution. Then we have base deletion, base insertion, and base duplication. While for example, let's see the base substitution. For base substitution is a base is removed from the original sequence and then we replace it with a new base. Okay, so for example, for this one, originally it should be CTACG, okay, cytosine, thylene, something like that, okay. And then now because of A, we change it with T, so it becomes CTTCG. So this is due to the base substitution. Okay. While for the base insertion is we insert an extra base into the original sequence of base. For example, at first it's CTACG, now we add another G after C, so it becomes CTACGG. So the sequence is wrong. And then base deletion. So where we remove a base from the original sequence, like we remove T from CTACG, we remove T becomes CACG. And also the base inversion. Base inversion is it doesn't have any addition or substitution, but the place of original base they change. Like this one, these two bases side by side change the position. Like this one, CTACG, T and A, they change the place, become CATCG. Now, for the final one, base duplication. Okay, this is because of one of the part, it was duplicated. So a base is duplicated by inserting the several same bases into the original sequence, like CTACG. Suddenly we add lots of G behind. So it becomes CTACGGGG, like this. So these are the we call the types of mutation in terms of the gene. Now let's see the chromosomal mutation. The first one, okay, normally this one is it involves the change of chromosomal structure. For example, duplication. So for an LLA, the part of the chromosome segment is duplicated. For example, A, B, C, D, E, F. Suddenly E, we duplicate it, it becomes A, B, C, D, E, E, F. So the structure is wrong. Okay, from 6 segment, it becomes a 7-segment chromosome. So the structure is wrong. Second, deletion. Okay, it's the same and almost similar. It's just that we delete a segment. So a part of the chromosome segment will be break off and lost. For example, A, B, C, D, E, F, they lost E, so it becomes A, B, C, D, E, F. Inversion. Inversion is almost similar to the inversion for this one just now. So it's where the place there, the body, okay, like the part of the chromosome segment break off, rotate 180 and reinsert at the same location, like for this one. A, B, C, D, E, F, the original one become A, B, C, D, F, E. Okay, so the body are E and F already the body. And finally, translocation. Translocation is the segment of the chromosome move from one chromosome and insert to another chromosome. So it changed chromosome suddenly. So the part of chromosome breaks off, okay, and attached to non-homologous chromosome. For example, this one, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. At first, this is two pair, and this is a pair. Then suddenly, E, F, they switch the place and combine with this one. So it becomes A, B, C, D, one chromosome, G, H, I, J, E, F, another one chromosome. Okay. And finally, the change of chromosome number. So normally there is a addition of 1 or the deletion of 1. So there's an addition of loss of 1 chromosome in the cell. It becomes 2n plus 1 or 2n minus 1. Okay, so the addition of 1 set of chromosome or more in the cell sometimes become 3n, 4n, 5n as well. There are 2 types, only add 1 or add the whole set. Makes them become 3n, 4n, or 5n. So up to here, any questions? 有什么要问的没有？can ah? All right, if you can, then we continue to the final part. So let's see to correlate the mutation of somatic cell and gamete to the variation. So some segment somatic cell are the body cell other than the reproductive cell. So we have two types of cell. One is a somatic cell, one is a reproductive cell. So the mutation that occur in somatic cell, it will causes disease of cancer. Like for example, skin cancer due to the change of gene or chromosome. And these diseases or cancer which caused by the mutation is unable to be inherited to offspring. So no worries, even you get a cancer doesn't mean that your next generation will get the cancer. Okay, so that's why the variation of population is not affected by the mutation. Now, if a mutation occur on the reproductive organ that produce a gamete, so the zygote that formed by the fertilizations of abnormal gamete will contain the abnormal chromosome. So that's why chromosomal mutation are inheritable. It can be inherited. So the offspring that form will be mutant, and the disease that found in the organism can be inherited to the offspring. So this diagram shows the example of chromosomal mutation which occur in the female cell. So the non-disjunction occur when the chromosome fails to separate at anaphase 1 or anaphase 2 during the gamete formation. Okay, and non-disjunction also can occur during the formation of sperm or ovum when exposed to mutation. Okay, so let us see what happened here. So this is the one. So there's a no disjunction occur during the anaphase 2. So from here you see from anaphase 2 you see one doesn't contain any, one contain 2. This will form a 2a plus 1, 2a minus 1. While during the anaphase 1, okay, it straight away will produce one with without like this is it will straight away produce a 2a plus 1, 2n minus 1. So this is how it occurred. The idea is here. This one is straight away. Here, it occurs here. Okay, so when an abnormal gamete fertilized with a normal gamete, the zygote form will be still abnormal. For example, with an extra copy of chromosome 21, it will develop into a syndrome, Down syndrome baby. Okay, so with this, we complete this 12.3 and finish chapter 12. So any questions on this chapter so far? This is among the so-called, I will say, one of the easiest chapter in your syllabus. So up till here, any questions? No?
No, sir.
No, so if no, so let us continue with your assignment where try to do 12.3. This one. Okay, try to do 12.3. Okay, try to do this and done. Please let me know. Okay, well done. Okay, another one done. Okay, one done. Okay, so you went done also done. Good. So let us continue. All right. So for this, okay, for this one, first, what is the difference between the gene mutation and chromosomal mutation? Okay, we are talking about the definition. So gene mutation, it involves the what you call the change in the nucleotide base sequence. Okay, while the chromosome mutation involves the change of structure or the numbers of chromosome. Okay, so this will be the answer. So the gene mutation involves the change in nucleotide base sequence in DNA molecule of a chromosome, whereas a chromosome mutation involves the change in structure or number of chromosome. So explain briefly the following statement by giving a suitable example, like the food can be a source of mutation. So what he's trying to say here is when you are consuming the food with the mutation, like for example, your preservative like benzene, okay, like the benzene, like just now the polythene. So all these after a long time, it will actually cause a mutation. Okay, so the eating food which are containing this mutation, okay, for a long time, so it will cause a mutation. So any other answer? No? Okay, so now if there's a case, let us move to the somatic practice. Let's see. Mm, because I think we have only some questions involved. Right. So well, so I think first try to do this. We first try to start with this question first. Okay, the sickle cell anemia. Okay, try to start with this question first. All right. Okay. All right. Since okay. So since you need some time for this, so I guess I would like to give you some assignment. Okay, I would like to give you some assignment where we will discuss on the okay, because we have already cleared 11 and 12, so the extra classes we will stop here. Okay, so we will discuss these questions on the next classes. Of course, not today class for Temelo because you have another class later, right? So we will discuss on the next week, all right? So can we finish these questions? Okay, for the Mendaka class, we will discuss this on our next class. Okay, so I guess I'll stop here for today. So see you guys on next class. Okay, and Temelo for later.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye bye. Bye bye.